गुरुरेव गति गुरुमेव भजे गुरुनैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरुः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरुः मतिरस्मि गुरो मम पाहि गुरो सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमभेदकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः। In my last video, we saw that Kardama Prajapati and Devahuti were rightly wedded according to their Vedic rites, and they entered the Grahastha Jivita, and they had 9 daughters. And after that, Kardama Prajapati expressed his wish to leave the house and go as an ascetic and learn or practice Brahma Vidya. At that time, Devahuti, she expressed her concern about not getting Atma Vidya from him, and she also expressed her concern that how will she manage to find husbands for their daughters, 9 daughters. So she expressed her worry and concern over all this. At that time, Kardama Prajapati remembered Bhagavan Vishnu when he appeared before him. He gave word that he will be born as their son, as the Amsha Avatara. So he remembered that and he said to Devahuti, Makhido Rajaputristamatmanam Pratyanindide Bhagavamste Ksharo Garbha Madurat Samprapasyate. He said that Rajaputri, he addressed his wife Devahuti as Rajaputri, Bhagavan Lord Vishnu will be soon born in your womb, and so let us worship on him, meditate on him. And he said, Sattvayaradhita Shuklo Vitanvan Mamakham Yashaha Chetate Hridaya Granthi Maudaryo Brahma Bhavanaha. He said that, so let us worship or meditate on Bhagavan Vishnu, because he will be born to us as our son, and he will obliterate the ego and ignorance out of you. He will teach you Atma Vidya, and he will remove the ignorance and ego from you. So let us meditate on Bhagavan Vishnu, Kardama Prajapati said to Devahuti. So from the next day, they both meditated on Bhagavan. Already Bhagavan gave him word that he will be born as his son, but now they have to invite him. So they both worshipped or meditated on Bhagavan Vishnu, and one day at one fine Muhurta, he was born as their son. And Bhagavan was the Amsha Avatara, Bhagavantam Param Brahma Satvenam Shena Kshatruhan Tattva Sankyana Vignaptyai Jadam Vidvana Jaswarat. Bhagavan, he is the Sattva Amsa of that Bhara Brahman, and he is born as the son of Kardama Prajapati to propagate the philosophy of knowledge, that is Sankhya philosophy. That Sattva Amsha of Bhagavan, that Parabrahma, he is born as the son of Kardama Prajapati. It is the Amsha Avatara or the Kala Avatara. That Sattva Avatara, Sattva concept of Parabrahman is born as the son of Kardama Prajapati, and he is, the purpose of his birth as the son of Kardama Prajapati is to propagate the philosophy of knowledge. And Bhagavan was born in that ashrama, which is on the banks of river Saraswati, in the place Bindusaras, and all the devas, Brahma Deva, many rishis, Sapta rishis, Manu, everyone came to worship Bhagavan who has taken this form, and he is born in the ashrama of Kardama Prajapati. They came, all of them, they came and worshipped Bhagavan. And Brahmadeva, he worshipped that Amsha of Bhagavan Vishnu. And he said to Kardama Prajapati, my son, you have obeyed my orders. So I am really feel happy for you and for this world also, because you have helped me in progress in this creation. And that's the greatest blessing for the son as well as for the father also, because any children, when they obey the orders of the parents, not the orders only, when they satisfy the wish of the parents, then that is the greatest moment for any parent, not giving money or giving anything, wealth or anything, but obeying the parents. It is a great blessing for the parents as well as for the children also. So Kardama Prajapati obeyed the, even though he was a great rishi, he left that and he entered in Grahastha life just to obey the orders of Brahmadeva, and he worshipped Bhagavan, meditated on Bhagavan, and with that help of Bhagavan, he got this beautiful wife Devahuti, and they lived a very happy family life. They had 9 daughters, and Brahmadeva said, now give your daughters in marriage to these rishis. They are of at that age. Now give your daughters to these rishis and select them according to their temperament, nature, and so that your daughters will marry these rishis and they will have children, and they will have their own next generation will come. By that way, they will spread your name and fame. And he turned to Brahmadeva, turned to Devahuti and said, now you have Bhagavan himself, the avatar of Bhagavan himself as your son, to impart Atma Jnana to you. So he will erase the ignorance and ego out of you. He will advise you the Atma Vidya. And after that, he will wander in this world as a Paramahamsa. He won't stay with you till the end in the ashrama. After imparting you the knowledge, he will take the Paramahamsa away and he will wander in this wide world. And Brahmadeva also said, Ayam siddhaganadishah Sankhyaacharyesu sammatah Lohe kapila yityakyam Gandhate kirti vardhanah. Devahuti, your son, is the Siddha Ganadisha. He is the Ishvara of the Siddha Ganas, of all the Siddhas, the Siddha Samaja itself. Sankhya Acharya is, he is the Acharya of the Sankhya Darshana or the Sankhya philosophy. Susammataha, he is worshipped by all the wise person or wise people or learned men. And Ayam Loge Kapila Ityakyam Gandhaha. He will be known in this world as Kapila. This Brahma Deva said to Devahuti and Kardama Prajapati. The Parabrahman, he is a Sattva Amsa, is born as your son. And his purpose of his birth is to propagate the Sankhya philosophy. And after imparting you the Sankhya philosophy, he will leave this ashrama and wander in this world. And he will be known by the name Kapila, and he will spread your name and fame. He said to Kardama Prajapati and Devahuti. And Lord Brahmadeva, he left for his abode. And the rishis, they all stayed in the ashrama. And Kardama Prajapati and Devahuti, they arranged marriage of their 9 daughters with these rishis. And they arranged the marriage of their daughter Kala with Rishi Marichi, daughter Anasuya to Atri Rishi, and another daughter Shraddha to Angiras Rishi, and Havirbhu, another daughter to Pulatsya Rishi, and another daughter to Pulaha Rishi, and another daughter to Rishi Kratu, and daughter Kayati to Bhrigu Rishi, and daughter Arundhati to Vasishta Rishi, and daughter Shanti to Atharva Rishi. So these are their 9 daughters, and Kardama Prajapati or the Kardama Rishi, he arranged marriage of their daughters with these rishis respectively. Some of these, the daughters of Kardama Rishi and Devahuti were very famous for their lifestyle and their knowledge, like Arundhati, Kayati, Anasuya. They are all very knowledgeable and blessed beings. So now the daughters of Kardama Rishi and Devahuti were rightly wedded according to their Vedic rites, and they all left this hermitage, that is this ashrama of Kardama Rishi, and went to the hermitage of their husbands. To their respectively, they went to their own ashrama or hermitage. So one day, after the marriage, all the marriage were over, Kardama Rishi, he went to his son, who was the Amshavatara of Bhagavan. He prostrated before his son, worshipped him, and he said that your transcendental form, that was so beautiful and that was so fitting for you also. But at times you take this human form to help us bhaktas. So that transcendental form of yours was so beautiful and it was so suitable for you, but you take this human form to bless us as devotees. And he said, Tvam Suribhistattva Sadha Vivadarhana Padapitham Aishwarya Vairagya Yashovabodha Virya Purtamaham Prabhatye. You are worshipped by all the rishis or all the people who have knowledge or all the learned men. You are endowed with Aishwarya, all the wealth, Vairagya. That is very important. That's why he is Bhagavan. When people have Aishwarya in this world, they won't have dispassion. They are more attached to it. And because of that, they are more, because of ignorance only, they are attached to it. But Bhagavan, he has Aishwarya and Vairagya and Virya, that strength and power, Shri, all the wealth in this world, and I worship you, I surrender to you, he said to his son, who is the avatar of Bhagavan. So Kardama Rishi, he just worshipped Bhagavan and he said, I surrender to you. You are endowed with all this. All the great men worship you and I surrender to you, he said. And he said, Param Pradhanam Purusham Mahantam Kalam Kavim Trivitam Lokapalam Atmanubhutyanugada Prapancham Swachanda Shaktim Kapilam Prapatye. He said, you are that Param, you are that infinite being, Swachanda Shaktim, one who has that infinite power. You are the Purusham Pradhanam. You are that Prakriti and you are that Purusha and Prakriti. You are manifest as Mahantam. You are manifest as that Mahat Tattva. You are manifest as the Kalam, that is, you are manifest as time. And you are manifest as Trividham, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. In these three ways also you are manifest. You are that Kavim, you are all knowing, you know everything. Lokapalam, you protect this manifested mysterious world. Atmanubhutva, having that Atma Anubhuti, having that experience of Atma, Anugata Prabhanjam, we can realize that this whole world merges in you. Kapilam Prabhati, to that Kapila, I worship and I surrender. I take shelter. This Kardama Rishi said, worshipping his son, who is none other than the avatar of Bhagavan. He said this prayer, and it is a very nice prayer to Kapila Bhagavan. When we worship Kapila Bhagavan, we understand this nature and we get knowledge too. So, once again, I repeat this shloka. Param prathanam purusham mahantam kalam kavim trivitam lohapalam atmanubhutyanugata prabhancham swachanda shaktim kapilam prabhatye. Like this, Kardama Rishi worshipped his son Kapila Bhagavan, and he requested Bhagavan to give him permission to take the ascetic way of life. He said that I have discharged all my duties. Now I desire to take up the life of a sannyasi and I want to merge in you. I want to practice Atma Vidya and I want to merge in you. Like this, Kardama Rishi said to his son, who is Kapila Bhagavan. And Bhagavan immediately said, Ye tanme janmalokesmin mumukshunam durashayat prasankyanaya tattvanam sammadayatma darshane. The purpose of my avatar as a Kapila is to distinguish and enumerate the difference between Atma and Anatma. And not only that, to propagate the difference and the categories, how the Prakriti is evolved into different categories. That is very well explained in the Sankhya philosophy. Actually, this Sankhya philosophy is very ancient. It is a classical philosophy, just like Vedanta. It is practiced from the beginning of this universe, but that Sankhya philosophy, it has the Purusha and Prakriti. That is the core of Sankhya philosophy, Purusha and Prakriti. But it did not, that is the classical Sankhya philosophy did not include the concept of Ishvara in it. And maybe due to that, or by time, it lost its luster. And many people who followed other philosophy did not embrace Sankhya philosophy. But Vedanta, it embraced Sankhya philosophy because only in Sankhya philosophy, the Prakriti and its evolutes are very clearly explained. And in Atma, actually, it is more or less similar like Vedanta. In Vedanta, we say Atma and Anatma, or Atma and Maya. In Sankhya philosophy, the same is said as the Purusha and Prakriti. And there are some minor differences, but both of these philosophies came from Veda. But since the classical Sankhya philosophy did not include the concept of Ishvara, maybe for that reason, by time it was in disuse. So Bhagavan, born as Kapila Muni, he revived that Sankhya philosophy, and that is given in the Bhagavata in this third canto as Kapilopatesha, which Kapila Muni advises the philosophy to his mother Devahuti. So just like how Adi Shankaracharya came to revive Advaita philosophy, Kapila Muni came to revive the Sankhya philosophy, and he himself will say, Bhagavan himself says that this science of the self was in disuse, nearly lost to humanity. So I have taken this birth as your son to revive that science. Bhagavan, he himself tells about his own nature and he says that Sri Bhagavanuvacha Mamatmanam Swayam Jodi Sarva Bhuda Guhashayam Atmanyevatmana Viksha Vishogho Bhayamritchasi. He says that I am the Atmanam Swayam Jodi, I am that self-effulgent Atma who resides in Sarva Bhuta Guhashaya, who resides in the secret place in everyone. That is, he says that I am that Atma, that self-effulgent Atma who resides in all beings. Bhagavan, he himself say who he is. He doesn't say that I am that Vigraha only in the temple, or I am only in your puja rooms inside that big frames covered with glasses. No, he doesn't say that. All these are the way to practice to understand this. Bhagavan is all pervading. There is no place in this creation where he is not. He resides in us. That's why he is called Narayana. One who resides in the Nara, Purusha, is Narayana. And he resides in all of us as our Antaratma. And what is that Atma? It is that thing, that consciousness. Only because of that we are able to function. We are able to speak, we are able to walk, and whatever it may be. This physical body is just a outermost cover of that Atma. It is that Atma which functions our mind, which functions our buddhi and everything. It is that inner consciousness which is all pervading. There is no place in this entire creation where he is not. So that is Bhagavan. He himself says, Mamatmanam Swayam Jodihi. I am self effulgent. Sarva Bhuda Guhashayam. I live in all beings. Sarva Bhuda. It may be a dog, or it may be a king, or it may be an ordinary person, or it may be a rishi, it may be a man, or a woman, or a child, or a beggar, or a rich man. There is no difference for Bhagavan. All these differences are so external, and it is only for that human beings. So Bhagavan, he himself says, I reside in all beings. Atmanyevatmana viksha vishogho bhayamrichasi. If one realizes that with a pure mind, then he is free of all the shoka and bhaya. One can realize it only with the pure mind. To attain that purity of mind, only we all strive. Once when we have that purity of mind, then that realization that of Bhagavan residing in us, or understanding that I am not different from Bhagavan, is not an issue at all. But to purify this mind is a great problem, and for that only we do all this practice, like reading the scriptures, reciting the scriptures, explaining the scriptures, everything, or hearing the scriptures. All this are to purify the mind. It can be of any way. If one can perform yoga, or one can do nama japa, one can sing kirtanas, whatever way it may be. Even all the arts like the dance or music are for this purpose. All of them purify the mind to an extent. But to what extent is very important. But because if it takes a lot of time to purify the mind, then it is difficult. So all these practices are to purify the mind. Atmanubhuti will come automatically when the mind is pure. So a pure mind can realize me, and a pure mind will be free of any bhaya or shoka. That is any fear or misery or sorrow. This Bhagavan Kapila, he himself tells this to Kardama Rishi. And regarding the teaching of Atma Vidya to his mother, he says, Matra adhyatmikim vidyam shamanim sarva karmanam vitarishyem yaya chasau bhayam chati tarishyati. And he said that I will impart Atma Vidya to my mother and help her to overcome ignorance, ego, and attain bliss. So I will take that responsibility. And Kardama Prajapati was so much relieved by hearing this. And Bhagavan gave permission for Kardama Rishi to enter in the sannyasa way of life, that is to wander in everywhere as a Paramahamsa. He gave permission to Kardama Prajapati or Kardama Rishi. So Kardama Rishi immediately circumambulated Bhagavan, prostrated before Bhagavan, he worshipped Bhagavan, and he entered the ascetic way of life. He immediately went to a solitary place and lived depending one and only on Atma, because his son is Bhagavan and he practiced Atma Vidya for such a long time. He knows about all the nuances of that Atma Vidya, and he completely, with one pointed devotion, he united his mind with Brahman. And Kardama Rishi, he realized that Atmanam Sarva Bhudeshu Avastitam. He saw the self, which is none other than the Supreme Lord in all beings. Sarva Bhudeshu, in all the beings, he saw his self, which is that Bhagavan himself. And he also realized that Bhagavatim Atmani Abhi Sarva Bhudani Cha Apashyat. All the beings in his self too. So he saw his self in all the beings, and all the beings in his self, again, which it implies that this world is not different from any of us, and Bhagavan is also not different from any of us. There is no difference anywhere, only there is external difference in the form. Even our energy is same. So there is no difference anywhere, and Kardama Rishi, he realized it, he experienced it, and he merged in Brahman. So back in the ashrama, Bhagavan Kapila, he imparted Atma Vidya to his mother Devahuti, and that teaching of knowledge is very famously said as Kapilopatesha, which begins from the next chapter of Canto 3, that is from chapter 25, until the end of this canto is the Kapilopatesha, which is the philosophy of Sankhya, that is the Sankhya Darshana. So that I will explain in my next upload. Shri Narayana Khila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.